and bienvenidos to another episode of the Doodle Droid. Thanks for joining me. Today, our drawing is going to be of a backhoe or excavator. Or you could make this tractor into whatever kind of construction equipment you want. And for this drawing, I'm going to use a pencil because there's going to be some erasing involved. And you're going to mostly need to know how to make circles, rectangles, squares, and semicircles. So, like I said, grab a pencil and let's get started. Empezamos. So the first thing I'm going to do is a nice big circle. I think the key to a great circle is confidence. Just go for it. The more nervous you are about it, the shakier it's going to be. And I don't think drawing should be a lot of pressure, so if it's not perfect, don't worry about it, just go for it. So I doubled that circle up so it's like a big donut. Then I'm going to put a little circle inside. And you could put some dots or circles. These are like the lug nuts. So we've got the tire and the wheel and the lug nuts. I'm going to move over here and I'm going to do the same thing, just a little bit smaller. This will be the front wheel. Put some small lug nuts in there. Alright, and then this shape, it's going to be like a long french fry shape, rectangle shape, but it's going to go behind the wheels. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. It goes out a little bit in front of the front wheel. There I've got my rectangle sitting behind those wheels. And then I'm going to do like a squared off banana shape. So it's like the fender that goes around the wheel. Alright. And then in the front here, let's do like a trading card shape. So a rectangle on its side, you can make the corners a little bit rounded. And on top of that, I'm going to put a triangle. And that's where the engine would be. Then let's do a nice tall rectangle, and this will be where the driver is, the operator. Put a tall rectangle here. It's not going to be a full rectangle because when I get to these shapes, this part of the wheel, I'm going to stop. But you can imagine that it's a full rectangle. And then I'm going to double that up. So I'm going to draw the same shape inside of it, just a little bit smaller. Then I'll take a french fry shape and put it on top. And if I'm ever going too fast, just hit pause. That's the cool thing about having it on video. So you can go whatever speed you need to. But the scary thing about being in pencil is sometimes we have the urge to erase too much. And I always think about erasing as taking one step forward and then you erase and that's like two steps back. So if you erase too much, if you're not happy with your shapes or your lines, you'll never get anywhere. So I think just take a deep breath, and if it's not perfect, just keep drawing. Draw through it. Turn a mistake into something great. So put a tall, skinny rectangle there, like a stick of gum. And another trading card type rectangle right here. See, I didn't complete the rectangle because this is overlapping, so I just stopped when I ran into something else. Alright, and then we're going to do, let's just make a capital letter T right here. But I'm going to make it real thick, so I'm going to keep drawing over it to make it thick. It's like a capital letter T that fell over, and there's our steering wheel. Then I'm going to make a boomerang shape. It's going to be the driver's seat. This is my boomerang shape. But it needs to be connected because right now it's just floating. So I'm going to make a little rectangle underneath. And then, because this is probably going to be bumpy when we're driving this thing, I'm going to put some little springs. So a zigzag line so that when you're riding this thing, there's some springs to absorb some of the shocks. Some of the bumps. Alright. Now, like I said, there's lots of rectangles in this. So I'm going to make another rectangle. Just like that. And then we'll do the bucket or the scoop back here. So, I'm going to add lots and lots of rectangles, all linked up together. They're going to be overlapping, but we're going to do some erasing later, so it's just part of drawing. Sometimes the eraser is a tool to finish off your drawing. So I'm going to do a rectangle, like a stick of gum, right here. It's going to be a thick rectangle. We'll go a little bit smaller, change the direction just a little bit. A skinnier rectangle right here. And then let's do a semicircle, so half of a circle. And make sure they're overlapping. All those spots where they overlap, we're going to erase later. And we'll just do a small little rectangle right there, part of the scoop. Alright, and then we'll put something on the front here. We'll do another bucket on the front. So we're going to put a diagonal rectangle overlapping some of the front of the tractor. And then out of that, we'll do a smaller rectangle. Do a semicircle or a backwards letter C. I'm going to do a huge backwards letter C. But I'm going to make that thick. So I'm going to do two little minus signs on the ends of the backwards letter C. I'm going to draw another one. And if you want to make the bottom of the scoop a little different, put a skinny little rectangle right there. I feel like this should have something else connecting it. So I'm going to put a few more small rectangles. A little tiny rectangle right there. A longer rectangle there. Let's go ahead and finish it off with a circle. And I'm going to double that circle up. I don't know where the exhaust is on one of these pieces of equipment, but I'm going to put it right here. So let's do an exhaust where the smoke comes out. Put a double line. I'm going to put a diagonal line to connect them. If you want to draw some smoke, maybe yours is solar powered and you put a solar panel on top. Now, like I said, this has some erasing. That's why I did it with pencil. So I'm going to grab my eraser. And I think the key to good erasing is put your free hand, put one finger on either side of what you're going to erase. And I'm going to erase the inside of some of these shapes. And if you accidentally do a little too much erasing, you can always go back and draw it again. Okay, so I got rid of where it overlaps there. I'm going to get rid of these overlaps too. And this gets really confusing for some people, but I think just go with your intuition. If you leave some of the overlap, it's okay. It'll still be a great drawing. Whatever you think looks right. Don't stress. Now I'm going to go in and just clean up some of those places where I erased a little bit too much. You can still see the ghost lines, which is helpful. So I can redraw it. And I think these connections need a little circle. I can color this in black because it's a tire. And I'll just finish it off with a few more details. I think details make a drawing. You can add other details. You don't have to follow me on this part. I think we need a radio antenna because you gotta listen to music while you're working. So I'm going to put an antenna up there. If you want to put some dirt here, just put some lumps. Alright, you could put yourself in there driving it. Alright. Thank you so much for joining me for another drawing of with the doodle droid. Hasta luego. Hasta el próximo. Ciao.